Nice Micro Monday. Is the Dunning-Kruger effect fake? If you go on the internet, you probably heard a lot about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is used to describe people who have very low knowledge in a topic but have a very high confidence in talking about that topic. So because on the internet we talk more about more famous people, I guess politicians come up in this discussion a lot as they profess expertise in topics they actually don't have expertise. They propose solutions which, it looks like they figured it all out, and everyone else who actually studied the topic for decades are absolutely clueless on that. And this is generally what people call the Dunning-Kruger effect, having high confidence with low knowledge. But I would like to propose to you that that effect is actually not true, and that is not what is behind these things. So when Elon Musk says that he can solve public transport and then ends up building small tunnels with cars running through it, then I want to propose to you that that was not Dunning-Kruger effect. That was something very different. So let's take a look at what the Dunning-Kruger effect actually is. And if you look up this in an image search engine, so I am using DuckDuckGo's image search here, you will see multiple variations of this same graph, which will have some kind of peak in the beginning. So there is x-axis is your wisdom or knowledge or experience. And from the left to the right, we are going from know nothing to expert. And on the y-axis, we are going from low to high confidence. And you can see that someone who has little knowledge in a topic will have a very high confidence in their own expertise, and that will be the peak of Mount Stupid, because they will state stupid things with very high conviction. But as you learn more about a topic, your confidence will decrease, go into the valley of despair when you suddenly start to understand how difficult this topic actually is, and how much you still have to learn if you really want to understand it. And then you will have this slope of enlightenment as your knowledge increases, then your confidence will increase with it. And this kind of feels right. So if you think about your own field, which for me it is chemistry. So for example, you learn high school chemistry and it's kind of easy. You don't have to study much for the exams and you're still doing great. And you are very confident in your chemistry knowledge. Like, for example, you learn about the Markovnikov rule for organic chemistry reactions, and you think, oh, now I understand how these organic chemical reactions go. But then you decide to pursue chemistry as your major in university, and then you suddenly find out that, well, there is a Markovnikov rule, there is also an anti-Markovnikov rule, and you have to understand more about organic chemistry to know which rule will be applied to which case. So now you are confused, but then you learn more about organic chemistry, and finally you are able to tell what is the Markovnikov rule and what is the anti-Markovnikov rule used for. So this is something you might recall from your own studies, and well, if there are so many variations of this same graph, then it must be true, right? So there is even names like Mount Stupid and Valley of Despair and Slope of Enlightenment coming up again and again. So this is what Dunning and Kruger might have discovered when they were studying human psychology, right? Wrong. And this is very funny in the sense that if you are using DuckDuckGo and look for the Dunning-Kruger effect in the image search, you will find these drawings. And if you are scientifically minded, if you work with graphs, you might realize that what is this x-axis, what is this y-axis, how are you even quantifying the wisdom and the confidence in a way that gives you this graph, which is a very nice curve. How does this even work? Well, the truth is it doesn't, because if you actually go for the regular text search in the same search engine, you will actually see what is the effect that Dunning and Kruger has discovered. You will find the short snippet from Wikipedia here with actually the correct graph in the corner here. So if we go to the Wikipedia page here, you will find that the main graph for the Dunning-Kruger effect looks a lot less dramatic than what you've seen in these drawings. You have 4 competence groups. So they basically gave a test to people and then scored their results and put them in 4 groups based on their scores between low and high. So we have 4 quartiles, and the bottom line here with the diamonds show us the actual points that these 4 quartiles got on this test. And they were also asked what is their expectation, how high their scores will be. And those are the squares here in the top line. And this graph shows us the Dunning-Kruger effect, which means that people in the bottom 3 quartiles actually overestimated their own performance, while people in the top quartile, so I guess the people who had the highest score, the 25% of people who got the highest score, they somewhat underestimated their own score. But this is nothing like this. So that graph does not come even close to this graph, this drawing that is in popular knowledge. So what is the Dunning-Kruger effect telling us is basically almost everyone is overestimating their own knowledge, but there is no Mount Stupid here. So even the lowest performers did not have a confidence to put them above the highest performers. Like relatively they assessed their own score lower than what other people are thinking. I think this graph is mostly showing us that like the top 3 quartiles, so everyone except the bottom 25% had kind of the same expectation without any like regard to how their actual score is doing. And if we scroll down in this article, we might find more details about measurements and analysis and what kind of tasks were investigated. This graph is restating the same results just based on what percentile people believed they would end up in. And, well, everyone thinks they are smarter than average, which is kind of funny. So, scientifically speaking, there is an overestimation of one's own performance in case of low performance, but this kind of graph is based on vibes. This is not based on any scientific research. This is not based on anything real. This is just how people feel about knowledge. And if we go back to our original statement that we don't have this Dunning-Kruger problem with our politicians and famous people, then what do we have? So I think that even if I compare my own kind of Dunning-Kruger effect with regards to organic chemistry to how public figures like Elon Musk talk about public transit, there is a big difference that when I was in high school and where you would describe my confidence to be on this peak of Mount Stupid when I thought I understand organic chemistry because I understood high school organic chemistry, I wouldn't have thought that if like a chemistry professor or someone who has like a PhD in organic chemistry, I wouldn't have thought that I am smarter than them. I wouldn't have done the same thing like Elon Musk is doing, like he's saying that he could solve public transport because he just knows more about transit than all the transit engineers who've been working in that field for decades. And, you know, it might be that the whole field is wrong. I mean, especially American transport engineers, they might be wrong, but it's not going to be someone randomly coming in and, overturning a field just like that because they are a genius. But it works for the public. And that is kind of the issue we have there is not that we have this peak stupid on the Dunning-Kruger graph. And if I could just go there and maybe like give Elon Musk a few lectures about public transit, then he would suddenly lose his confidence. I don't think anyone would expect that, I don't know, a group of traffic engineers would go to him and tell them like, trains are bigger than cars and can fit more people in than cars. So actually, just study a little more and you will be able to contribute to the public transport in actually a positive way. And Elon Musk would be like, oh, sorry, I was so wrong about the Vegas loop. No, it would never happen because Elon Musk is not interested in knowing more about public transport. People we accuse of being on the Mount Stupid of the Dunning-Kruger effect, they are not interested in actually increasing their knowledge. They are confident, they have a very high confidence for the sake of being confident because that is what profits them. They are high on confidence because that is how they get money from others. They use confidence as an art form. Maybe we could call them confidence artists, or maybe we can shorten them to con artists. They are not having high confidence and low knowledge because they haven't learned enough yet. They are having high confidence because they are uninterested in knowledge. They realize that they can make enough money by just being confident and speaking bullshit, basically, instead of actually gaining expertise in the field and trying to earn money by actually being useful. So we don't have a Dunning-Kruger effect problem. We have a con man, a con artist problem. And if you disagree with me, you are wrong, but you can still tell me your objections in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, you can give me a thumbs up. Still, you need to find where that button is, and subscribe for more content if you are interested in it. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.